Sure enough, Vidya's life took a brighter turn after that. She seemed more energized, and her face radiated a constant smile whenever she interacted with anyone. While she admitted that the experience was exhausting, having to entertain several young men at once, she had no regrets, in a way she had never experienced with her husband, Lakshman. Hello, and welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into another shocking and real-life event that will leave you stunned. This time, the story takes us to Davangere city, located in the state of Karnataka, India. Davangere is a fascinating city, rich in history, culture, and economic activity. But beneath this vibrant exterior lies a scandalous tale involving a woman named Vidya, born in 1975, who has been a respected lecturer since 1998. Her reputation took a dramatic turn when she became entangled in a case involving inappropriate relationships with several young students from her campus. What led to this shocking turn of events? Stay with us as we uncover the full story and delve deeper into the details of this jaw-dropping case. Let's get started. Before we dive into this story, don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay updated. If you enjoy it, share it with your friends so more people can hear this fascinating tale. Now, let's get into it. Our story centers around Vidya, a successful and respected lecturer. She originally worked in Harihar but was later transferred to Davangere. Back in 2002, she married Lakshman, who, like her, is also a lecturer, though he's based at a different campus in Rainbenner city. The couple even owned several rental properties in Rainbenner, making them financially secure and well-off. However, life wasn't entirely smooth. Since they were both government employees, they were bound by placement rules, leading to a long-distance marriage. Despite the physical distance, they made it work. Lakshman and Vidya would visit each other during holidays, and from the outside, it seemed like everything was fine. But there was one challenge they hadn't overcome. After years of marriage, they were still waiting for the blessing of a child. They even tried pregnancy programs and took extended leave to strengthen their bond and focus on building a family. But nothing seemed to work despite following every piece of medical advice. In January 2015, a friend in Rainbenner shared troubling news with Vidya. Lakshman wasn't as faithful as she had believed. He had a secret mistress in the city. Surprisingly, Vidya didn't react with fury at first. She accepted the possibility of losing her husband to another woman, hoping perhaps he might finally have children with someone new. But what truly broke her heart wasn't just the betrayal. It was how her hard-earned money was vanishing. Whenever Vidya asked Lakshman about their finances, his answers were vague. Then, she discovered he had sold one of their rental properties in Rainbenner to finance his mistress. That was the final straw. She feared her husband was being manipulated, used as a source of easy cash by a younger woman. Determined to uncover the truth, Vidya enlisted her friends in Rainbenner to follow Lakshman and gather information about this mysterious woman. What they found was shocking. The woman Lakshman was involved with worked as a song guide, a euphemism for a hostess or entertainer, and wasn't loyal to him alone. She had multiple lovers, each one showering her with gifts and money. Lakshman was just another man in her collection. Eventually, Vidya convinced her husband to take a 3-week leave, bringing him home to Davangere, where she and her family could look after him. Afterward, things spiraled into a full-blown family feud. Lakshman's relatives blamed Vidya for failing to conceive, suggesting it pushed him into the arms of younger women. On the other side, Vidya's family accused Lakshman of being unfaithful and selfish, prioritizing an affair over the option of adoption. The situation was a mess. Mediation was attempted in March 2016, but it went nowhere. Exhausted by the constant tension, the couple decided to take a break from each other to reflect. Their time apart was complicated. Despite the anger, they missed each other. By October 2016, they reconciled and committed to rebuilding their marriage. In December, they finally moved forward with adoption. 2 months later, they welcomed a beautiful 6-year-old girl into their family, complete with a nanny to help care for her. Life was moving forward, but one thing lingered. The spark between them had fizzled out. By now, Vidya and Lakshman had been married for 14 years. The passion had waned, replaced by companionship and shared responsibilities. With the long-distance nature of their jobs still a factor, Vidya stopped worrying about whether Lakshman had another mistress. What troubled her more was how the drama had driven deep rifts between other family members. Amid all this, Vidya leaned heavily on her close friend, Shalini. At 39, Shalini seemed like the perfect picture of grace and joy despite a rocky marriage of her own. She and Vidya weren't just colleagues at the college, they were true friends. Whenever Vidya felt restless or lonely, Shalini would pull her out for coffee or a late-night walk to clear her mind. One evening in February 2017, during one of their usual chats, Shalini casually mentioned something that made Vidya's eyes widen: slime parties. A mix of couples and singles, men and women, looking for excitement beyond the ordinary. It was, as Shalini explained, a common secret among those in the know. For Vidya, the whole concept was equal parts shocking and fascinating. She had only seen such things in movies and couldn't imagine them happening in real life. Curiosity got the better of her, and she peppered Shalini with questions. How it worked, who played what role, and what the rules were. Shalini laughed at her friend's innocent amusement, but the real surprise came when she half-seriously invited Vidya to join. Vidya declined with a nervous laugh, confessing she'd be far too scared. The idea of being surrounded by so many strangers was overwhelming. What if I panic? Or worse, what if I just lose control? She whispered, half joking, half terrified. Shalini burst into laughter, shaking her head at Vidya's wide-eyed naivety. You're too sweet for this world, she teased. But the spark of curiosity lingered in Vidya's mind, even if she wasn't ready to step into the unknown just yet. By early March 2017, Shalini introduced Vidya to a student named Yogesh, a 22-year-old who was passionate about futsal. Yogesh wasn't just a sports enthusiast. He had also attended a few slime parties organized by Shalini's circle. These gatherings were highly secretive and exclusive. Every participant had to be clean, healthy, and, most importantly, discreet. Meeting Yogesh piqued Vidya's curiosity even more. Nervous excitement filled her as she asked increasingly pointed questions about the parties. It had been so long since she had felt truly desired. Her husband hadn't been intimate with her in ages. Torn between temptation and guilt, she wavered multiple times before finally giving in. By late May 2017, she found herself at a local inn, stepping into her first party with 5 others. The experience left her both exhilarated and hungry for more. It wasn't long before she became a regular, eagerly planning the next get-togethers and even covering the room costs herself. Vidya's life took on a new vitality. Her energy soared, her smile returned, and she radiated confidence. Though the parties were physically draining, she felt no regret. The way these young men treated her, making her feel desired and fully alive, was a feeling her husband Lakshman had never provided. Surprisingly, her newfound joy had a positive impact on her marriage. Conversations with Lakshman became warmer, and she found herself genuinely enjoying his company when he was home. They spent evenings discussing their adopted daughter, work, and upcoming summer travel plans. His frequent absences no longer bothered her. She had her own secret world to escape into. Then, in mid-June 2017, during the final moments of a lecture, Vidya overheard a group of students, Chirag, Omkar, Rohin, and Santosh, chatting in hushed tones about their escapades. They bragged about attending their own slime parties, hiring 2 women multiple times. She listened with amused curiosity, a small smile tugging at her lips. Her flirtatious glance their way was subtle, but it was perfectly natural to her now. Everyone had their secrets, after all. As long as they kept their personal lives outside the classroom and focused on their studies, Vidya didn't mind. Life was about balance, and for the first time in a long while, she felt she had found her own. One day, Vidya was joking around with Chirag, teasing him about the wild parties where guys would pay women for a night of fun. Chirag laughed nervously, eyes darting away in embarrassment, but she quickly reassured him. "It's fine," she said with a warm smile. "There's no need to feel guilty. You're all adults now. Don't worry." I'm not going to get mad. Feeling a bit bolder, Chirag admitted, it's not a regular thing, just something I've done a few times with Omkar, Santosh, and Rohan just for fun. It feels good. Vidya nodded knowingly and responded, that's totally normal. Big boys having fun. As long as everyone's playing safe, it's just entertainment. Chirag, still curious, raised an eyebrow and smirked. You seem to understand a little too well. Have you done it too, ma'am? Without hesitation, Vidya smiled mischievously. I've played with some younger friends before, she confessed. Even students your age. Why not? Life's short. Then, leaning in with a playful grin, she added, we could always try sometime, you know? Chirag, wide-eyed but intrigued, chuckled nervously. As long as we both keep it a secret. And that's how it all began. A few days later, Chirag messaged Vidya, inviting her to join a party with his usual crew, Omkar, Santosh, and Rohan. He kept it casual, but his heart raced as he typed. Her response came quickly, a playful yes with one condition. Just you, she wrote. No other girl this time. Chirag agreed, relieved and excited. That's perfect, he replied. Too many people and it's risky anyway. The first party took place in early August 2017, at a cozy inn the students rented. The experience exceeded everyone's expectations. Vidya's energy and enthusiasm left them breathless, and they couldn't stop talking about it afterward. 1 week later, they did it again. Then, the following Sunday, another round. For Vidya, it was pure bliss. She felt alive in a way she hadn't for years. The attention, the thrill, and the flirty fun with the basketball guys made her feel like the most desirable woman on campus. Life was good, secrets were safe, and she was finally playing by her own rules. In August 2017, a heated argument broke out in the cafeteria near Vidya's office. Omkar was visibly frustrated as he confronted her. Why do you always ignore me? He snapped. Is it because I'm not as big as the others? Every time we play, you're all over Chirag, Santosh, and Rohan, but you barely look my way. Vidya blinked in surprise, caught off guard. She hadn't even realized her actions were making Omkar feel excluded. Oh, come on, she sighed, trying to calm him down. It's nothing like that. I didn't mean to ignore you. It's just that things get busy. You know how it is when we're all caught up in the moment. She gave a soft smile, hoping to smooth things over. It's not about size or anything like that. I'm sorry if it felt that way, but Omkar wasn't having it. He crossed his arms, his eyes narrowing. If this happens again, I swear I'll lose it. You better not leave me out next time. The threat hung heavy in the air, and Vidya felt a knot of worry twist in her stomach. Later, she confided in Chirag. Maybe we should stop inviting him. Sensitive guys are no fun, and I'm getting nervous. What if he can't keep his mouth shut? Chirag agreed with a shrug. Yeah, better safe than sorry. By the end of August, Omkar grew suspicious. His friends had been unusually quiet, no invites for basketball games, no late-night hangouts at the cafe. His gut told him something was off, especially since Vidya seemed to have gone missing from his usual circle. One evening, restless and determined, he hopped on his motorcycle and rode to the suburban inn where their meetups often took place. The receptionist recognized him immediately. Hey, are they here? Omkar asked casually, trying to mask his impatience. You know, my friends. Any rooms booked under their name? The receptionist, unaware of the tension brewing, smiled and said, Oh yeah, Mrs. Vidya and the boys checked in around 6 p.m. Just the 4 of them. Omkar's blood boiled. Why didn't they invite me? He muttered under his breath. Clenching his jaw, he forced a smile. I had some work, that's all. I was late. Guess I'll join them now. The lie tasted bitter, but his mind was already racing with what he would do next. Omkar got the key card from the front desk and stormed up to the room without hesitation. The door swung open, and there he was, barging in like a thunderstorm. Chirag, Santosh, Vidya, and Rohan froze in shock, their eyes wide as if a police raid had just kicked off. Without a word, Omkar lunged at Chirag, throwing a punch that sent the room into chaos. Rohan jumped between them, trying to break up the fight, but Omkar wasn't done. His eyes burned with anger as he turned to Vidya, spitting out accusations. "You think you're so smart, huh?" he snarled. "Back when all 5 of us were here, you barely even looked at me. Now you're cozying up with just my friends." Vidya's face flushed with indignation. "It was never personal, Omkar," she shot back. Omkar's temper boiled over. He lunged toward her, but Chirag moved fast, landing a solid blow that knocked him off balance. What nobody expected was what happened next. Omkar pulled a knife from his back pocket, pointing it directly at Vidya. Vidya's eyes widened in terror as she darted behind Rohan, who instinctively stepped in front of her. Furious, Omkar slashed wildly, hitting Rohan as the young man tried to shield his teacher. Chirag didn't hesitate. He kicked Omkar as hard as he could, sending him stumbling into the corner. Vidya took her chance. She bolted out of the room, screaming for help as loud as her lungs would allow. Security arrived within minutes. They wrestled Omkar to the ground and rushed Rohan to the hospital. Bloodied and battered, Rohan had several serious injuries but, thankfully, survived after receiving intensive care. The fallout was swift and brutal. Vidya, tear-streaked and trembling, sat under harsh fluorescent lights at the police station, handcuffed and shaken. Word spread quickly, and soon the entire campus buzzed with whispers. Rohan! They couldn't believe it. The rising star of the basketball team, always polite, always hardworking. How could he get involved in something like this? And Vidya, a respected lecturer, a mother figure in the academic community? Disbelief turned to condemnation. Students and faculty alike questioned her actions. "She's supposed to set an example," one student muttered. "Isn't she a role model?" a lecturer asked, shaking their head. "She betrayed her responsibility as an educator." Vidya's personal choices, they said, had crossed a line. Whatever the reasons, loneliness, boredom, personal demons, it didn't matter. She was supposed to guide her students, not get entangled in their reckless behavior. And now, the fallout had a real victim. Rohan, the young man whose only mistake was defending someone who had let her boundaries blur far beyond reason. Omkar couldn't hide his frustration as he recounted everything to the authorities. His anger wasn't just about that night. It had been building for months. "I was always the one spending more money," he vented. "When we split the cost of a room or hung out at the cafe, I covered for Chirag, Santosh, and Rohan all the time. And when we first started inviting Mrs. Vidya, I was fine with it. I thought it would be fun for all of us. But fun had turned into something else." Omkar felt sidelined, left out of the action. "Whenever the 5 of us got together, it was always the same story," he muttered. "She only paid attention to Chirag, Santosh, and Rohan. I'd be sitting there, freezing, watching from the corner while they had all the fun. I wasn't there just to be a spectator." He clenched his fists, eyes burning with bitterness. "And then, when the party was over, when everyone had left, that's when she'd finally turn to me, like I was some kind of afterthought." Omkar had enough. It wasn't just about feeling ignored, it was about fairness. He wanted the same attention, the same treatment. Was it because he didn't measure up? The thought gnawed at him. "What?" he scoffed. "Because I'm not as big as the others? That's why she didn't want to touch me? Just because they've got more to show, they get priority? That's not fair. It's not right." When he discovered that his friends had gone to another party without him, his suspicions boiled over. "They didn't even tell me." His voice cracked. "No call, no text. Nothing. I knew something was up, so I went to the usual place. And there they were. Same room, same setup. But this time, no Omkar." He clenched his jaw, his pride bruised beyond repair. "I was done being left out. I just wanted to teach her a lesson, make her understand what it felt like. But then Rohan had to get in my way, like some kind of hero, and things got out of control." The lawyer representing Vidya argued that she had been under immense pressure after the scandal with the basketball students came to light. Her marriage to Lakshman had been falling apart for a while, and it only worsened after the incident. Their relationship had been strained for years, and their intimacy had completely disappeared. Lakshman's family even urged him to leave her, but he chose to stay, citing their adopted child as the reason for his decision. In the wake of the scandal, Vidya, Chirag, Santosh, and Omkar were all expelled from the college for tarnishing the institution's reputation. It was a tough blow for everyone involved. Vidya, however, didn't appear in court until long after the incident. When she did, she spoke openly with the judge about the problems in her marriage, the lack of affection, and how she had struggled for years without having children. She shared the pain of discovering her husband's infidelities and how she had resorted to the parties with her students as a way to regain a sense of self-worth. With tears in her eyes, she admitted how she had become addicted to the thrill it brought her, but acknowledged that it was wrong. She apologized to everyone involved and asked others not to follow her path. The judge in the Davangere City High Court found Omkar guilty of assaulting Rohan and attempting to harm Vidya. He was sentenced to a maximum of 10 years in prison. Vidya was charged with misconduct and sentenced to 3 months behind bars, while Chirag and Santosh received 1-month sentences. After her release, Vidya returned to living with her husband in Rainbenner, where Lakshman continued his work as a lecturer. What lessons can we learn from this story?